Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the 215 Boys. My name is Paul Spencer. I'm by myself today. We're supposed to have a special guest, Jen, but he's actually is at the stadium today, but having a little technical difficulties with the sound and video there. But hey, this is the 215 Boys today pregame show versus the Carolina Panthers. Hey, are you ready for some Cowboy football? Because I definitely am. First, I want to apologize for my voice if my voice starts cracking. Had a football game yesterday and kind of lost my voice and didn't have a voice for about a day and a half. So hopefully it fully stays okay. But hey, let's get into it. Dallas Cowboys today versus Carolina Panthers. Dallas coming off a great victory last week, of course, against the New York Giants, of course. Looking great, just a blowout win, of course. Eileen checking in. Hey, Eileen, how's it going? Thanks for checking in. Appreciate you. Um, Today, the Cowboys, like I said, they are fully rostered today. Everybody's looking good. Everybody's on the roster. It's not questionable today. There are a couple questionable players, but today we got actually a full roster today, just like last week. To me, inactive rosters means nothing last week, as Dan and I talked about, on the Big Blue Power Hour. Excuse me, when Dallas played the Giants. Two were ruled out, two was questionable, but they actually ended up playing. So the inactive roster means nothing to me. I mean, at 45 minutes till game time, they can change the roster here. But so far, everybody is on the roster today, is playing. The only person that's not playing today, of course, is going to be, excuse me, Deuce Vaughn is definitely going to be out today, which is kind of questionable because it's our third running back. Rico is questionable today. Rico Dowdy, who had a great game last week, of course, he looks pretty good. He's coming off an 80-yard game last week against the Giants, but that was against the Giants. And a lot of it was mop-up time, honestly. So he's going to be out, and of course, Hendershot's going to be out going to be out today. He's out on the IR as well. Josh Ball, IR. Matt Wolofsky, he's a right guard today. He's going to be out too. So if the offensive line gets kind of banged up, we are going to be a little bit of trouble there too. But the great thing is, hey, Tyron Smith's playing today. What more could you ask for? The guy didn't fall out of bed this week. He didn't get out of the bed, rake his lawn. Probably not going to rake his lawn because he's a billionaire. But, going to there, getting a water out of the refrigerator and stubbing his toe and being out for 5 weeks. So that's a good thing he is playing today. But, I want to talk about this Dallas team. I mean, this Dallas team has been playing the last 2 weeks here against, the Eagles, of course, that'll stand out, lost there last second there. 58 minutes of great ball. The last 2 minutes was just an eyesore to watch as a fan, a coach, whatever you want to call it. But, going to the Giants land here, playing at home, playing against the Giants. But that was a great game, a bounce back game, of course. What better way to play a team like that to bounce back in the season, to get your things right? I call it a get right game. Today, I don't want to look at it as a trap game, but today it is a little bit concerning to me because as a Dallas fan, you play 3 games in 18 days. It's every year. There's 2 teams that do it. Of course, us in Detroit do it every year, 3 games in 18 days. So today we play today. Of course, we're at home against the Panthers. So you figure the game's going to be over about 4:30, 5 o'clock at the latest. You're back home in your house around like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Of course, tomorrow you're not practicing. Tuesday you're going to run a full practice, of course, with pads and everything like that. Wednesday, you're going to be doing a walkthrough, just a limited walkthrough, helmets, no pads, just, basic gear, running through a walkthrough. Then Thursday, you play on Thanksgiving. So this game a little bit concerns me too, because we do play the Commanders on Washington, which we'll talk about next week. But, this game here, you cannot look past. I mean, the Carolina Panthers, 1 win, of course. Their only lone win is against the Houston Texans, which is kind of surprising there. But, every team has a good day. Every team has a bad day. And, of course, Carolina's had 8 bad Sundays so far. But, you can't overlook this team. Now, they do have a lot of players that are actually out this week, of course. They're starting running back. Chuba Hubbard's good. Miles Sanders good. They're pretty good there. Adam Thielen is playing today. Chanel is actually out today, questionable with an hamstring injury. So we'll see how he plays. DJ Chark's a good wide receiver that can take the field down. Jonathan Mingo, I love this kid coming from LSU. I think this kid is really a high flyer as well. I think this defense will, pertain to him. The one that I want to really stop is Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen has that veteran presence. What better way to have a veteran presence with someone like, a Bryce Young being a rookie quarterback. So I think it's a good matchup for the defense today. I give the defense a nod for us, of course, but their tight end is out. Hayden Hurst is out today, and Ian Thomas, their third backup, is questionable today. So Tommy Tremble is the tight end today. I love Tommy Tremble, being a Notre Dame fan. I watched this kid. He's a veteran out there. He does what he has to do. He's more of a he can play running back. He comes out of the backfield a lot, as he did with Notre Dame. He's like a hybrid tight end, a lot of blocking tight end. Not the greatest pass catcher, of course, in NFL standard-wise, but he is a great blocking tight end. To me, he reminds me of a like a Witten on the line who can just go out and mandate a block anywhere you want. A crack block if you have to, a zone block, whatever you needed him to do, he will do. So Tommy Tremble's going to be starting today, but their offensive line is actually they're all intact today, which is a good thing for Bryce Young because Bryce Young has just been running for his life the entire season, so far, and it definitely shows. I mean, I don't want to call it a learning curve, but I mean, I think it's just being thrown to the wolves when you have no team to work around you, especially the offensive line here. There's really no standout on the offensive line if you look at it. To me, I think this front seven is going to get after the Carolina Panthers today. I think we get about at least 2 or 3 sacks today. I mean, you look at the defense today; we're fully loaded. The only one that's not going to be playing today, of course, Leighton Van Der Esch is out for the season. Demarion Overshott's out for the season from the preseason action with his injury for this leg. But I think this team really feeds tonight. I really do. Well, not tonight, daytime, 1:00. DeMarcus Lawrence is going to have a great game here today. He's actually going to be, starting, of course, on the end there. He's going to be going against, Ikem Okunamala. He's a pretty good, solid guy, but I was watching a lot of film on him. His pass block is not the greatest, so I think this front seven gets a little bit of pressure on there, and I think we're going to see a lot of stunts as well. Hankins is going to be playing. Odighizuwa, Dorrance Armstrong will be playing today, fully strength, ready to go. I think Dallas gets up a little bit early, then we can pull that rotation in and out. I think today we're going to see a lot of Mozzie Smith with the rotation there. Odigi was dealing with an elbow injury last week, so I think Mozzie Smith gets a lot more playing time. Last week against the Giants, he did get a lot of playing time as well, and he looked pretty good. I mean, his bull rush is pretty nasty. That's the reason why we got him from Michigan, as a first-round pick. So I really want to see him starting to get the rotation because now's the time that you're going to need him. Of course, you play the Commanders in 4 days, basically, and then the following Sunday you play the Seattle Seahawks. So this is a time where you find out that rotation-wise what the Cowboys are about, and I want to see Mozzie Smith get in the game a lot more today. But regarding the defense here, our defense is just playing lights out right now. Of course, led by basically Damon Clark, who's leading the league in interceptions right now. Dorrance Armstrong has really found his way on the presence of the line, too. That front four is really nasty. And, of course, we never can forget about the man, Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is just an animal among men. The way he's playing, a lot of people look at him saying, he's not having the career, year, I want to say, stat-wise. But, if you look at it and you see what he's really doing, there's a lot of presence that you don't see in the box score. The assists, the pressures, basically the double teams that he gets creates another hole for another a player as well. And the person that's actually feeding off that actually is, is our defensive line. I mean, Armstrong's getting in there. Odighizuwa is getting a lot of pressures. And, of course, DeMarcus Lawrence is getting there. We're not getting a lot of sacks in the last 2 or 3 weeks, but the pressure is there, which controls the back end. And to me, it's unless it's a bull rush one-on-one, I consider that a sack. But to me, the Cowboys, when they do get sacks, unless they're, a blitz up the middle or, like a jailhouse blitz or a stun or twist getting to the quarterback, a lot of these sacks are actually covered sacks, which goes to our secondary. Our secondary, losing Diggs, I was quite, thinking like, oh, man, this is going to be a bad year for us, of course, losing Diggs, leading the league in interceptions, playing great ball hawk, takes chances, but this defense has really stepped up. I mean, Damon Clark, I was very happy that we got him coming off the draft here. He's a great pickup as well for us. I knew he, coming out, I said to Dave, my co-host on 215 Boys on Wednesday night, 9:30, make sure you check that out. I said to him, I was like, hey, give this kid 2 or 3 years. This kid's going to be, I want to say elite yet, but this kid's going to be something. He's going to be a starter. He's going to be opposite of Trayvon Diggs, which shows me, that the way he's been playing, that he's already taken that spot for Diggs, but he hasn't taken Diggs' spot. Next year, we're going to be official with, maybe Gilmore actually leaves because he is getting beat off the ball a lot today, plus the whole season. So I think next year it's going to be Deron Bland and Trayvon Diggs, of course. But if you look at this defense, I mean, the only thing that concerns me on this defense is the safety position. I don't know what's wrong with Javon Curse. I mean, honestly, I really don't know. And to me, I think Donovan Wilson should be playing that spot. I think they should switch Curse with Donovan Wilson. Donovan Wilson's been, playing with injuries all year, coming off that, that hometown friendly discount with the Cowboys, of course. But I'd like to see him step up a little bit more in action. To me, I think he's a better coverage guy. Curse takes chances, but he's been missing a lot of tackles, especially in the mid-level, secondary zone. I'm going to say that not past a little bit past the intermediate round, the 15 to 20 yard slants, basically corner routes post routes, coming there. He's been a little bit lackadaisical to me. But Malik Hooker, I mean, he's been playing okay too. He's been playing on top of Gilmore's side because Gilmore has been getting beat a little bit. Deron Bland has been playing a one-on-one, so that safety, Malik Hooker, actually comes down, plays a zone 2 coverage going to the right side, which is Gilmore's side. And that's something I want to see. I want to see today how Gilmore actually stands up because of the fact that, you look at this team, they do have 3 solid wide receivers, of course, Thielen, Chark, and Mingo. So I think the odd man out to be picked on today would probably be a Gilmore because Gilmore does actually, tend to not overplay balls, but he gets beat with a more physical receiver. I'm not saying Thielen's a more physical receiver. I think Mingo's probably going to be the more physical with him. Chark's the more speedster. So I can see that, Gilmore's going to be on him. But Deron Bland doesn't move side to side. He can play slot in case they want to, if they want to bring down, another corner. Most likely it's probably going to be Javon Curse coming in that slot corner there when they play a nickel zone. I don't like that because that's going to match up to the Panthers' advantage. But, advantage you can say, but then again, you have Bryce Young playing quarterback with this offensive line where Dallas can feast with the defense. So it's like a hit or miss situation here for the Dallas Cowboys. But, you look at their defense. Their defense is not the greatest as well. There's really no really big. I like Shai Tuttle a little bit. I think his presence in the middle is pretty damn good. He's a big bull rusher. But the problem is their corners. Their corners have been giving up big plays as well. This is where the Cowboys are going to feast today. The Carolina Panthers are missing 2 of their secondary players, Xavier Woods and C.J. Henderson. Both right cornerback and Xavier Woods safety is going to be out today. And to me, when you're missing down, your Troy Hill is going to be starting today at the right corner. And when you can move wide receivers back and forth, you can move a Lamb, you can move a Brandon Cooks, you can move a Gallup, you can make Jalen Tolbert out there. This is where the matchup's going to favor the Dallas Cowboys, having C.J. Henderson out of the game today. You're bringing a second-year player in Troy Hill. So this is where Dallas is going to feast on that ball. The secondary is going to be there. I can see a lot today. When you're already missing your right corner, you're going to be bringing that second and third corner into the game, a nickel slot in the corner coming in as well. So this is where CD is going to feast today. CD is going to have whoever's going to be in that slot is going to take control of this game here. And I can see a lot of it being CD in the slot. I can see Gallup being on the outside. I can see Cooks on the inside as well today. The 2 players that I think are going to feast is going to be CeeDee Lamb, of course, or whoever plays that slot because you're bringing in basically the third corner in that situation there. Dante Jackson is their left corner, which is going to be pretty much on Gallup's side. CD pretty much primarily plays on the right side with the Henderson shot in the slot as well. So I think Dallas is what they're going to try to do is they're going to try to control the run today, which kind of makes me a little bit weary because of the fact that our running back situation, Tony Pollard, of course, is our starting running back. Rico Dowdy's questionable. Deuce Vaughn is out. So Rico's been playing a hell of a game, played season all year this year. He's been playing good ball. A little bit lack of size, but lack of size doesn't mean matter to this kid. The way he's running the ball up the middle, regardless of what he did last week against the Giants. He had 88 yards last week against the Giants, but that was the Giants. They're the Giants. I'm not going to take anything from that game, of course. Dak threw for 404 last week, which is a great game, but, it's the Giants. They're depleted. They're playing for nothing, honestly. So you really can't take any grain of salt from that game. But Tony Pollard, I want to see him get off this game really fast. I want to see him, come out, get some yardage on the ball. I want to see, big bursts this week from him. I want to see going into this game because we played the Washington Redskins next week. Commanders. I keep saying Redskins. I'm old, but I want to see them, jump on the ball, get the starters out early because of the fact you're going on a short week. Tomorrow you're going to be off tomorrow. It's a travel day. It's not that far coming back from, staying home. You're just going to the facility. You're going to get a workout in or whatever. Tuesday, you're going to be at full practice, of course. Wednesday, you're going to be doing a walkthrough, and Thursday, you're playing a game. So I want these starters to get in and out, injury-free, of course. But I want to see Pollard have a huge game today. Rico is banged up last week from that little hip bruise, I believe, a hip bruise or something, in that range area there. So I want to see him get in and get out of the game too as well. The only issue is Deuce Vaughn coming out there. He's going to be injured today. He's actually already ruled out as I'm looking at inactives now. But the wide receiver room is fully healthy. Brandon Cooks, of course, Michael Gallup, Jake Ferguson, a tight end. Luke Schoonmaker today, I think he gets a lot of play action today, not play action. But I think he gets a lot of time in this game too because I think Dallas is going to maintain the run. I think this game, if you're looking for Dak to throw, his last games, man, 304, 374 against the Eagles, 404 against the Giants, I don't think he's going to have a big game like that. I think he's going to probably be around 225 to 250, if that, honestly, depending on how the game rolls, the flow of the game here. But I think it's going to be a big running game here. I think it's going to be a lot of, mid-range game. I don't think we're going to take our chances down deep. I think we do throw the ball down deep just to keep them honest, because like I said, they have the safety out and the corner out as well for the Panthers. So you really want to take advantage of that, being, Xavier Woods out and CJ Henderson out, 2 starters, corner to secondary and personnel. So I think Dallas does take the chance to keep the Panthers honest. But the thing is, I think today we're going to run the ball a lot more than usual. I think this is going to be a ground game. The front seven for the Panthers have been giving up a lot of yardage on the ground. You look at their last games, and they only, like I said, they haven't scored 20 points in about 3 or 4 weeks here. I think it was 4 weeks that they went back. They haven't scored 20 points. So I think Dallas maintains the run here. I think it's going to be a little bit closer. I'm going to, give you my score in a little bit, but I can see a big game from Tony Pollard today. I want to see him get back on track, of course, because the running game for the Dallas Cowboys have not been sufficient this year to what my standards would be with this O-line. Of course, we've been banged up a couple of times this season, but today we're fully healthy. I want to see this ground game take control, and then Dak can run the play action. I can see Shoemaker being in the game a lot today, of course, with the Dallas Cowboys. I want to see him get involved. To me, I think the tight ends are going to be more efficient in this game here today in the mid-range game for the Dallas Cowboys. But I don't know. We'll probably see Cooper Rush in the fourth quarter again. I mean, we've seen him last week, of course, get almost a full quarter of action in there. So I think he comes in. I think we see a lot of Rico Dowdy today too, depending on how his health-wise comes into the game too. So I can see that happening. But, getting back to the game here, I think this defense is going to shut down Bryce Young, of course, rookie quarterback being thrown to the wolves this year. So I think we're okay there. The front seven probably is going to give maybe 2 or 3 sacks this week. I think Parsons actually, looks at this game being home. He's been playing a lot better at home. So I think this front seven gets a lot of sacks today. I'm going to say about 3 sacks today against Carolina, which really isn't a lot to NFL standard. But the way we've been playing, we've been averaging 1 or 2 sacks. So I think we get 3 today. I think we do come up with a defensive pick today. I don't think it's going to be Deron Bland, honestly. To me, I'm probably, I'm going to go to most likely a safety today. I'm going to call for some reason, I'm thinking Malik Hooker's going to overjump a secondary pass and pick one off, not to the house, but he'll get a pick today. I think that's going to happen. Parsons is going to get a sack today. But I think they're going to keep Bryce Young in containment. I think Bryce Young's probably going to throw for about 188 yards. Probably the leading receiver for them is probably going to be Adam Thielen, of course. He's been leading their categories in a wide receiver stats for basically the entire season. But their running game is not sufficient. Chuba Hubbard is not doing great. I mean, his highest game this year was 88 yards, of course, and that was week 6. So this offensive line, you're really not going to run behind him. I think the front four for Dallas plus the rotation that we have is going to be pretty stacked this week against them. So, I mean, you can bring in Mozzie Smith, you can bring in Gallimore, you can bring in Dante Fowler, of course. So you're pretty stacked at that front seven there. That rotation's pretty damn good. So I think Chuba Hubbard and Miles Sanders, Miles Sanders doesn't like run up the middle. He likes to get outside. Dallas is very fast on the outside. Marquise Bell on the outside edge there. He can pull up. Marcus Parsons can run down basically anybody in the league. So I think he's going to be playing a little bit on the ball on the defensive side there, coming up on the line of scrimmage as well. But I think, Chuba Hubbard's not going to have the biggest day. I'm probably going to be looking at probably around like 55, maybe 55 total. Maybe Miles Sanders will be 15 yards, 20 yards, carries there. But I think they're definitely going to keep him under 100 yards this week. I think probably total offense are probably going to be around 325 for the Carolina Panthers. I think Dallas does put up some sufficient numbers on offense today. I'm going to probably say, like I said, with Dak, I'm probably going to be around 225 to 250, that kind of range. Running the ball, I want to see a big game today. I like to see versus what I feel they're going to do. What I feel they're going to do, I think they're probably going to be around like 130 yards on the ground today. But I really feel the way they've been playing, they're probably going to be around like 80 yards for the entire game today on the offensive side of the ball, running the ball wise. But, this game I think it's not a layup game, of course. I mean, the line is 10.5 today. Lines this year doesn't mean anything with the Dallas Cowboys or any team. You look at the Kansas City Chiefs and the Detroit Lions, that line was 7.5 going into the first week. The Denver Broncos, when they play Kansas City, that line there was, I think, 13 or 15.5, of course. The Dallas line with the Carolina Panthers was 13.5. They lost outright. Then last week, Buffalo and Denver, that line was almost 15 too. So lines don't mean anything in this league anymore, honestly. This line is 10.5. So to me, this game is just a get it right game because you're on a short week this week. You play on Thursday, of course. Then you play the following Sunday as well. So, 3 games in 18 days. You just got to go out, get a lead, maintain your lead, pull the starters, and just keep the game flow going. Don't take your foot off the pedal with the second string coming in. If the second string does come in, I'm totally fine with that. Cooper Rush has been playing ball. The only question I have is Rico Dowdy being questionable if the high thigh bruise, of course. So we'll see about that one. But the offense is intact this week. Tyron Smith, everybody's playing, thank God. Tyron Smith, Tyler Smith, of course. Tyler Byers is back healthy, of course. Zach Martin. The one person I do want to see on the offensive line actually start. I was not learning to play the potential wise is Terrence Steele. Terrence Steele has been in like a turnstile coming up there, of course. So I want to see him get a lot of more playing time as well, but not playing time. I want to see him start playing to fundamental football. What I've been seeing from him a lot is the outside edge is playing a little bit wider to him, and that first step back is a little bit off the way he's been playing. Last year he balled out. I think he gave up 4 sacks the entire season. So this year he's already given up 3. When we're only in week 11 basically. So I want to see him play a little bit better off the ball there. Zach Martin, we already know about. Tyler Baez, he's been playing. He's coming off of an injury too. He played last week. Tyler Smith's going to be all universe one day. We can guarantee that. Tyron Smith, we don't know about this dude, man. He can go to the field today. He's already there warming up. But this dude, man, he can pull a clavicle injury, a shoulder injury, a neck stinger, eating a hot dog. So we don't even know about this guy. Just prayers up to him. Hopefully he plays a great game today. But Ken Fry checking in. Hopefully Dallas Cowboys don't play down to their competition. Yeah, exactly. That's the one thing, Ken. You hit the nail on the head. Dallas plays down to their competition. I mean, you look at these games that they play. When they play a legitimate team, I'm not an elite team. I want to say a team that on paper matches up against them. You look down to these teams. Look at Arizona. Of course, you play the Eagles. You play 58 minutes of great football. Then what happens the last 2 minutes? A false start, 2 sacks. It's just fundamental football. You got to play a full game. But Dallas can't look down to this competition. I don't care 1-8. I don't care about that. I mean, I always tell my kids when I coach up here, when you play, a wounded animal or a team that's 1-8 or whatever their record may be, a wounded animal, man, is the most scariest animal to play on the field or any kind of sport. Or, if you're a bullfighter and you hit that bull that's never, knocked somebody out or whatever the hell they're called. Those are the wounded animals are the most scariest to play because they're fighting for their lives in a corner, man. They got to get out the corner somehow. And that's the Carolina Panthers right now sitting at 1-8. I mean, a lot of teams look at like, hey, if we tank the season, we can get that first draft pick. Well, you're really not going to get that draft pick because you gave it up to the Bears. So to me, you have to play every game out, which we should be playing anyway. But 1-8 doesn't mean anything to me. The only, saving grace is, of course, you're playing a rookie quarterback that's 1-8. He's still learning the curve, of course, learning everything. Frank Reich's a great quarterback coach. He's going to be out there today, teaching these kids how to play. But, the big thing is, too, their secondary is depleted today. You have Xavier Woods out, C.J. Henderson out, which goes to the Dallas Cowboy advantage because we do throw the ball a lot. But I want to see the running game take control today for the Dallas Cowboys. That is the one thing I definitely want to see. Like I said, stat-wise, I mean, Dak's coming off great games, 304, 374, and 404. 404 last week against the Giants, and basically not even 45 minutes of time. Pretty much third quarter, he was pretty much out of the game. Didn't need him after that. But I think Dak does really, really good today. I don't think there's going to be any turnovers today. I'm not really concerned about that situation. Dallas needs to come out, be aggressive on the ball at home. Get down. I'm sorry, Carolina. Get on the ball, get some scores in right away. And the one thing I want to do, definitely want to work on, is I want to see this red zone, man. This red zone has to score. I mean, lately we've been scoring, but you look who you've been playing. You scored once against the Eagles, you scored 3 times against the New York Giants last week. But I want to see, this team continue that flow in the red zone. Dallas was coming into the league. It's kind of weird though. The top 2 teams in the red zone with lack of touchdowns versus, possession wise is the Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys. The best 2 teams in the NFC East here, of course, and they both have red zone issues. I don't understand what the issue is there. When you have a mobile quarterback like a Jalen Hurts and you have a mobile quarterback like a Dak Prescott, that's where I like to see the RPO, little swing passes, little check down passes to get not an open field, of course, because you're playing within the 20-yard lines, 8 yards of the end zone. So you're playing a 28-yard field. There's a lot of plays that can be driven there. The issue is with the Cowboys when they get down inside the 10-yard line. The play calling becomes very suspicious, I want to say. A lot of swing passes, I understand that. But to me, you got to get out in open space. You got to utilize the entire field. Play the sticks, play the boundaries is what I want to say. But I think Dallas does win this game today. I said on my NFC East show, I think Dallas wins this game pretty handily today. I think they do cover the line. The line is 10.5, which really doesn't concern me about a win. But I think Dallas does win this game. I wrote down on my NFC East show 31-17. I'm actually going to bump that a little bit different. Today I'm going to go 34-16 Dallas Cowboys, being that they do have two safeties out, a safety and a corner. Excuse me. I think my voice is cracking again. I do apologize. I lost my voice at a football game yesterday coaching. Xavier Woods is out, and C.J. Henderson is out as well. So I think Dallas takes a little bit of advantage of that. I think they do throw the ball deep a couple times. I don't think Lamb's going to have the 100-yard game today. I think it's probably going to be a Jalen Tolbert today. I want to see a rookie get involved, not a rookie, but I want to see somebody else get involved other than CeeDee Lamb today. I think a lot of tight ends show up for this game. I think Schoonmaker has a good game today. Of course, Ferguson's been their go-to guy. I mean, he's a new Jason Witten with Tony Romo, basically. So I want to see him get a little bit more involved today. I want to see Pony Pollard get a great game. I want to say Pollard, he's going to have the breakout game today. I think Pollard's going to carry the ball for about 24 times today. And I think he's going to have about $120 today, 1 TD. So I think he's going to have to, because Deuce Vaughn's out there. Their scat back's going to be out. Rico's coming off of a thigh bruise as well. So I think it's going to be a lot of carries for Tony Pollard today. And I want to see him get back in action. I mean, coming from last year when we had Zeke, I was kind of happy Zeke left, happy sad he's left, whatever. But to me, I'm starting to see that now that, man, that 1-2 punch is something that really carried Pollard as well. Expelling Pollard, the thunder and lightning version of Tony Pollard and Zeke. To me, we don't have that physical back. Dowdy has, shown a presence out there, but he's not that, strong back. And we know Pollard, he can carry the load when he has to. I mean, last year he basically outplayed, Zeke, of course, with time of possession, carries on the ball too, stat-wise. But the one thing is when they do, run a single back there, like a split, he actually is not the best blocker. He's a little light right there, but I want to see him get a good game in this week. So I'm thinking he's going to have about $121 TD, probably about 25 carries this week. I want to see him carry the load this week. That's what I definitely want to do, because I think next week when we go into the NFC East game on Thanksgiving, we play the Commanders there. I didn't say Redskins. I said Commanders this time, finally. When we play them, it's going to be a more physical game, because that's also a game where I don't care if we're 9-0, they're 0-9, or vice versa. That's a game where you throw out all records, because the NFC East is something different. I mean, we'll see how they play today, because the Giants play the Commanders today. We just had the Big Blue Power on there talking. Steve jumped on there from Commanders Gridiron. He was giving his 2 cents. Dan was giving his. You put them together, they don't even have a nickel, involved with both of these teams. So I do definitely want to see them play today as well, because you always got to look around the league of who you're playing next week, and that's going to be the Commanders too. So I'm going to get out of here, guys. I'm actually going to start my Buffalo Wings today. Get ready for the game today, this 1:00 game down there. We'll be back on tonight. The game's on at 4, but I'm going to watch the Sixer game. The second, third, and fourth quarter. The Sixer game is 12. So I'm going to be back on probably around like 8:30, 9 o'clock doing a Cowboys post-game show with myself and Cowboy Dave. Dave will be back on tonight. Dave does softball on Sundays, so usually gets home around 1 o'clock before the game. So we'll do the post-game show around 9 o'clock. And then following that, we'll do a Sixer post-game as well. So, guys, listen, I appreciate you guys hopping on here. I really do. Appreciate the love out there. Before we get out of here, I just want to read a couple sponsors out there that we do have, of course. So, I very apologize about my voice, guys, if it's cracking out there to you guys. If you're also injured, you need a lawyer out there, please give my man a call. Jason Fine, Attorney Big Al. Motor vehicle accidents, slip and fall, workman's comp, personal injury claims. 3 office locations throughout Pennsylvania and New Jersey. First in the Garden State, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. 3 Gwinsborough Lane, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Also in the city of Brotherly Love. Screw the Brotherly Love. I hate the Philadelphia city. Hate the Eagles. Philadelphia, PA, 1628 JFK Boulevard, Suite 2120. And also on my neck of the woods, Pittsburgh, PA, 500 Grant Street, Suite 2900. If you're injured, give them a call, 1-800-HURT-123. Please mention Out of the Box Sports Entertainment. Make sure you tell them that you called. If one of the live operators gets your call and take your case, man, you might even get me if you call the Pittsburgh area, 1-800-HURT-123. We take your case, no recovery, no fee. Mention Out of the Box. Guarantee you get the family rate, of course, between myself and Jason. You get it 33 1/3%. No recovery, no fee. So make sure you give them a call for any motor vehicle accident, slip and fall, workman's comp, personal injury claims, or any kind of questions that you may have. We can help you out somehow. Also, guys, it's Sunday. After last night's game, I was up till 2 o'clock in the morning watching football, UFC. Man, I needed some coffee this morning. The evolution of flavor-infused coffee. MonkeyColdCoffee.com. 3 of the greatest flavors, the OG, as Ken Fry loves. Bourbon chocolate chip, toasted oak coconut rum, Samaritan blend, and a newest blend. It's been out about a month and a half now. Haven't tried it. Organic blend, Peru La Florida. make sure you mention Out of the Box Sports at monkeycoldcoffee.com. Hit that checkout. But before you hit that checkout, you need to get to the swag shop. You need to get a t-shirt, a coffee mug, a travel mug, the K-Cup, the cold beauty freezer, whatever you need, they have it. Make sure you hit them up, and then you just drag over to the checkout. Then you use that code OOTB Sports at monkeycoldcoffee.com. The greatest coffee in the land, guys. So, hey, myself, Paul Spencer, I will be back tonight probably around 9 o'clock. I'll keep you posted on that. Make sure you subscribe, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. And also, we are going to be, most likely after the new year, we're going to go to iHeartRadio and Spotify. All episodes will be on there, video, audio only. So please, thank you for checking in. I really appreciate that. Final score for me is Dallas Cowboys 34. Those Carolina Panthers, I want to say 1-9 Panthers after tonight, will be losing 34-16 today. So, guys, let me know at our website. What do you guys think? Cowboys, Panthers, who do you got? Of course, you already know I'm keeping it real. I'm going with the Dallas Cowboys today, 34-16. My name is Paul Spencer. Until then, I'll see you guys tonight. Have a great day, and whoever your team you root for, hope your team wins unless you're a Carolina Panther fan. Until then, I'll see you guys later.